Greetings, welcome to this week's assignment. This week, Chapter 3, please read and then also take the quiz. This Sunday, additionally, there's a bonus assignment, which is the Meeting the Malays bonus assignment. In this bonus assignment, your job is to read the description below and then present a short paper or slide deck on your findings. Meetings are indispensable when you don't want to do anything. This sentiment was echoed by Stanford professor Thomas Sowell, who declared people who enjoy meetings should not be in charge of anything. Finally, management guru Peter Drucker claimed meetings are a symptom of bad organizations. The fewer meetings, the better. Much venomous ink has been spilled decrying meetings, but they won't go away because despite their potential shortcomings, many workplace gatherings are necessary. So your task is to examine the preceding quotations and perhaps other statements deriding meetings. Are they exaggerations or are they accurate assessments? If the assertions of wastefulness are true, what does this mean for the health of organizations conducting large numbers of meetings? Do we meet individually or as a team? Search the web for some information in defense of meetings. Discuss your own and classmates' experience with workplace meetings. Talk to your parents and other relatives and friends about meetings that they've been into and what their point of view is. Finding gripes is easy, but also search for some advice on the web of how to make meetings more effective. Put together some points, discussion points, whether it be in a slide deck format or in a paper, and submit it for bonus. In addition, Chapter 3 is due this week, and in Chapter 3 we talk about intercultural communications. So let's discuss it a little bit. As we go global, as our markets go global thanks to technology, we have to understand that we have to work outside of our national boundaries. American companies in global markets must adapt to other cultures. Homegrown businesses are often controlled by global enterprises or have reach globally. And we have to understand and make a shift in our communication skills as we go global. Some trends fueling globalization: stagnating or declining domestic markets, favorable trade agreements and removal of trade barriers, growing middle classes in emerging economies abroad, advancements in transportation and logistics, and of course, information and communication technology breakthroughs. In fact, I deal with 2 clients in Australia. Characteristics of culture. Culture is learned. Cultures are inherently logical. They're dynamic. Culture is the basis in self-identity and community. And culture combines the visible and invisible. The dimensions of culture: high and low context, time orientation, individualism and collectivism. There's different communication styles, and there's also different distances between. So these are all dimensions that we have to keep in mind. Now, if we think about high context and low context cultures, high context cultures are those that are relational, collectiveness, intuitive, and contemplative. Low context cultures are logical, linear, individualistic, and action-oriented. So as we look at these cultures on the left, high context cultures can sometimes be Japanese culture, Latin American culture, whereas low context cultures are often German, Swiss, and Scandinavian. Now there are some negative and positives of how we form judgments when it comes to different cultures. Stereotype is one of the most common negative ways that we form judgments. It's an oversimplified behavioral pattern applied uncritically to groups. We often have stereotypes of people in other countries that are wrong. Prejudice is rigid attitude based on erroneous beliefs or preconcepts of what these cultures are. Some of the positives that we can use to form judgments are prototypes, mental representations based on characteristics that are flexible and are open to new definitions. Some techniques for achieving intercultural competence: descriptiveness, giving descriptive feedback instead of judgmental feedback; non judgmentalism, being tolerant, which helps prevent defensive reactions; and supportiveness, encouraging others with head nods, eye contact, and facial expressions. Often, when you're dealing with people from other countries, these things can help go a long way. Improve your conversations in intercultural environments. Learn foreign phrases. Observe iMessages. Use simple English. Speak slowly and enunciate clearly. And encourage accurate feedback. Often, when I deal with those in Australia, I learn different things about that country. I often communicate and use their language, which is similar to English with certain subtle modifiers, such as they spell behavior and color with a U. Enhancing intercultural oral communication: accept blame, smile when appropriate, listen to people without interrupting, and follow up in writing. These are all good things not only for intercultural oral communication, but also um, just everyday business communication. It's important to improve your written communication. Adjust your writing style and tone. We were talking about that earlier. With my Australian clients, I often write in their style. Use short sentences and short paragraphs. Always avoid humor whenever you write with people, because people can misinterpret it. And observe the title and rank of who you're communicating with. Avoid ambiguous expressions. Use correct grammar, their correct grammar. Strive for clarity and cite numbers carefully. Ethical decisions making across borders: broaden your view. Avoid reflex judgments. Find alternatives. And refuse business if options violate your basic values. Don't be afraid to do that. Embrace transparency. Resist legalistic strategies. And don't rationalize shady decisions. Some of the things that we can do is apply the 5-question test to intercultural dilemmas. Is the action legal? Would you do it if you were on the opposite side? Can you rule out any better alternatives? Would a trusted advisor or a friend agree? Would family, friends, or an employer or co-workers approve? These are 5 questions to ask yourself when dealing with other situations and dilemmas. Some benefits of workplace diversity: having a diverse staff members. You're better able to respond and read trends to diverse customers at home and abroad. You're more likely to see opportunities that other groups would miss. Diverse teams are better equipped to create products that markets require and also come up with more creative and effective problem-solving techniques. Diverse consumers: one of the benefits is wanting to deal with companies that respect their values and reflect themselves. Also demand specialized goods and services tailored to their needs. Now, companies that can figure out these demands have a clear competitive advantage over others. Finally, some benefits of workplace diversity to business: companies that cultivate diversity suffer fewer discrimination lawsuits, fewer union clashes, and less scrutiny from the government. Diversity is a critical bottom line business strategy to improve employee relationships to increase productivity. And finally, the government and corporations increasingly contract with only suppliers who can show cultural readiness. Finally, some other options to improve communications among diverse workplace audiences is to seek additional training. Understand the value of differences, don't expect conformity, make fewer assumptions, and build on some similarities. That's it for Chapter 3. Make sure that you complete the quiz uh, that's due, as well as take advantage of the bonus assignment that's due later this week. Until next time, goodbye.